You are listening to the audio production of Hope for American Evangelicals, a missionary perspective on restoring our broken house by Matthew Bennett, published by B&H Publishing Group. This book is read by Nelson Graham. Dedication. To Steve and Lynn and Amanda and Kristen, for all the ways you made the house at 847 North 6th Street our home. Forward by Trevin Wax, Vice President of Research and Resource Development at the North American Mission Board, visiting professor at Cedarville University, and author of The Thrill of Orthodoxy. A great way to see your culture, to really see your world, is to get outside it for a while. When you return home, you'll arrive with fresh eyes. What everyone else takes for granted will stand out. Assumptions and behaviors everyone thinks are normal or just the way it's done will appear strange and contingent. You'll appreciate some aspects of your past more than ever before, but you'll wonder why certain practices and principles are so pervasive because now you've seen other ways of living, of worshiping, of relating. Without doubt, you'll see areas that could be improved. This was my experience after living and serving in Eastern Europe for 5 years in my early 20s. I left the United States with a one-way ticket, immersed myself in another world, did my best to master a new language, to adapt to unfamiliar customs, and serve the church in ways I had never considered before. I cannot begin to quantify the impact that cross-cultural mission work had on me. The personal impact was substantive. It was where I learned to preach, where I married my wife, and where we began our family. The cultural impact was big, too. It changed the way I see the United States, giving me a bigger and more global view of Christianity, while allowing me the opportunity to see contemporary Western culture and the church from the outside in. I often tell people these days to stay connected to the global church if you want to hold on to orthodoxy, and if you want to hold on to your sanity. One of the best ways to maintain sound doctrine and gain perspective on some of our society's most heated debates is to stay in close contact with Christians in other parts of the world. Cultural quirks and theological distinctions will help you discern what's essential and where Christians can agree to disagree. Everyone loves that phrase. In the essentials, unity. In the non-essentials, liberty. In all things, charity. But that only works if you know the difference between essentials and non-essentials. That's why I tell people to stay connected to the church around the world. Nothing puts our squabbles in perspective and aids our discernment of what is most important than reading the Bible alongside our worldwide family of faith. By listening and learning from people in other parts of the world, our eyes can be open to areas of compromise and challenge in our own context that we might be blind to otherwise. The missionary theologian Lesslie Newbigin spent decades of service in India, and when he returned, he brought new insights, diagnosing ills, pointing to problems, calling out idolatries the church had too often colluded with. He didn't see the United Kingdom as home base, but as a different mission field, and he longed to see the church have a missionary encounter with the contemporary Western world. Matthew Bennett has drawn deeply from the wells of Lesslie Newbigin's wisdom. He sees aspects of contemporary Christianity in the West that need to be challenged by a global perspective, so we become more biblically faithful and missionally effective. But Matthew is not just a reader of missionary insights. He has spent significant time outside of the United States. He knows the feeling I've often recounted of finding the culture shock to be stronger when returning home than when initially arriving on the mission field. You run into surprises you didn't expect. You see things, too many things. Some of them you'd rather stay blind to. In the end, the church benefits from cross-cultural wisdom. That is why I warmly recommend Matthew Bennett's insights to you. He expresses sharp critique and deep concern, but his humble approach and carefully chosen words indicate a pastoral heart for the good of the church. This is not another voice delivering more heat than light. Bennett acknowledges his own temptations as he wrestles with some of the vices so often accepted in American culture. You may not agree with all of his diagnoses or prescriptions, but you will be better for stretching yourself and listening carefully to a cross-cultural missionary who loves the church. Be ready to be strengthened, encouraged, and better yet, to see things you may have missed in the church today, and then respond with truth and grace to the challenges before us.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?